A red barn, blue skies, acres of pasture. If you're like most Americans, this is probably what comes to mind when you think of a farm. But in the last 50 years, farms have been radically transformed by advances in technology and the changing demands of consumers. Most farmers and the animals they raise for food will never see a scene like this. Hi, I'm Lisa, a producer from At the Fork. Come with me as we take a look at modern farms and the people who manage them. Welcome to a conventional chicken barn. Of all of the animals raised for food in the U.S. every year, the majority of chickens raised in barns just like this. In the wild, healthy chickens can live for more than 10 years, but the breeds we raise for meat have been genetically engineered to grow much, much faster. Less than 40 days after hatching, these chickens will have grown large enough to be slaughtered. They will spend their entire lives in this windowless room. This is how 99% of chicken is currently produced. Recently, some farmers have opened their barns to give their birds access to fresh air and natural sunlight, improving the chickens' quality of life. A handful of farmers now let their chickens roam free on pasture, where they can socialize and express their instinctive behaviors. But pasture-based farms like this are a rarity. The average chicken you find at your local grocery store has never seen fields or explored a forest the way these birds can. Welcome to a modern egg farm, or layer house. Most eggs come from hens that spend their entire lives in confinement housing called battery cages. Each cage holds up to 6 layer hens, with each bird having less space than an iPad. Some egg producers have abandoned battery cages for cage-free facilities like this, allowing their egg-laying hens to have some freedom of movement. However, most hens producing eggs labeled cage-free still spend their entire lives indoors. Only a few egg producers in the United States give their hens full access to outdoor pasture, where they can forage for bugs and worms, fully expressing their instinctive behaviors. In these systems, the hens often lay their eggs in small houses that are moved around the pasture to make full use of the land. In America alone, over 100 million pigs are butchered for food every year. And while pigs are known to be as smart, if not smarter, than dogs, we treat them very differently than our four-legged housemates. Most farmed pigs today spend their entire lives confined indoors. Mother pigs, or sows, will often spend the bulk of their lives in narrow stalls called gestation crates, where they're barely able to move or interact with others. When the sows are ready to give birth, they are moved to the farrowing room. This farmer is assisting with the birth. Shortly after the piglets are born, it's standard practice to dock their tails, clip their teeth, and castrate the males, all without anesthesia. These piglets have been weaned from their mother. In 6 months, they will have reached market weight and will be sent to slaughter. Some farmers are abandoning gestation crates due to consumer pressure and installing open pen housing systems. While still completely indoors, this system allows the pigs more mobility and social interactions. Some pig farmers still use an outdoor system, like this, where sows live on pasture, make nests, and give birth to their piglets in small huts. Once the piglets are weaned, they will be moved to a pen with access to the outdoors, where they will spend the rest of their lives. A very small number of farmers give their pigs unlimited access to a natural environment, such as this pine tree forest. This is as close to replicating the way a pig would live out in the wild as a farm can get. These pigs can express all of their natural instincts, like rooting, wallowing, and nesting. You won't find any crates or huts on this farm, and all of the breeding happens naturally. Over 85% of dairy cows, or heifers, spend their entire lives inside a barn like this one. They're fed a high-energy feed called total mixed ration, TMR. Over 1,000 cows live here and are milked twice a day. It's easy to forget that female cows need to be pregnant or have recently given birth to produce the milk we drink. Most dairy farms separate the mother and calf immediately after birth to keep the maternal bond from becoming painfully strong. Some high-tech farms use rotary stations to milk their cows. One trip around completes their milking cycle. If you look closely, you will see the heifers entering and exiting the rotary station. Roughly 15% of dairy farms allow their cows to graze on grass, their natural diet. Because grass is a lower energy feed than TMR, cows grazing on pasture produce less milk, but they can live longer lives. Take a good look. Just be careful not to get too close. Most cattle raised for beef start their lives on pasture, grazing grass. Some cattle are kept on pasture and fed corn to fatten them up before being processed for meat. Most beef cattle will be moved to a feedlot, like this, to be finished. This is where they'll spend the last 4 to 6 months of their lives. Here, up to 100,000 or more cows will live in barren pens, where mud, manure, and heat stress can cause health problems. Beef cattle that are truly grass-fed spend their entire lives grazing on pasture. These cows will never be fed grain or fattened on a feedlot. Here, at this slaughterhouse, cattle spend their last moments in a steel chute before they are led into the knockbox, and then the kill floor. All of the animals we've encountered on this journey were raised for our consumption, and every one of them will be slaughtered. But the quality of their lives and the challenges facing farmers are the direct result of the choices we make when it's time to eat.